This is my friend Ethan, and I've made him a wonder kid in Football Manager. However, all his attributes are set to 1 out of 20 because we're going to use a random number generator to decide what his attributes will be. Then we're going to follow along my friend's career from start to finish. I wonder how many trophies he can win, or if he could even claim a Ballon d'Or. Starting with technicals, our first attributes are corners, and the random number generator is giving him an 8. That feels fairly reasonable. Crossing, the next attribute, might give us an indication as to what he's going to end up being, and the random number generator has given him 13. So with decent crossing like that, he may end up being a wing-back or a winger. His dribbling though, that is going to be an 8 out of 20. That's not bad at all. Definitely still in the mould of a wing-back or a winger right now, but finishing could maybe move him to be an inside forward or potentially even a striker. But his finishing's only 3, so he is 100% not going to be a striker. Next up is his first touch, and that's 8 as well, so again, that does point to him being out on the wing. Free kick taking next, this doesn't really dictate how good he's going to be in any sort of position. It's a 3 anyway, so he won't be on set pieces. Next up, heading. Now, this is important. Will he be very good in the air? That could make him a decent centre-back potentially, and he's got 12 heading. Long shots out of 20, that's going to be a 14. Wow, that's his best attribute so far. That feels like a waste though, doesn't it? Long throws, this is not important at all, but it's an 8. Marking, now this is important. If he's going to be more of a defensive player with high marking, that would work quite nicely. And he's been given a 12 there. That feels actually like he's going to be more of a wing back here, potentially full back. Let's see how good his passing is going to be. Only a 2. He is not a ball-playing centre-back. We know that for sure. Penalty taking up next, and with 3 finishing, imagine this is 20. It's 5. Okay, that's all right then. He's not going to be on penalties at all. Tackling though, if this is high, I think he ends up being a full-back. And it's 12. That's not bad at all. I'm getting paranoid about the amount of times I think I've said that's not bad at all. I feel like I'm saying it every time. Okay, technique. Let's see what he's going to get here. An 8. That's okay. So technicals are actually looking pretty solid across the board. Let's move on to the mentals then. We're starting off with aggression. And that is 17 out of 20. To be fair, he has actually just started boxing in real life, so this might actually end up being accurate. Anticipation, what's that going to end up being? 14? Okay. He's very good mentally to start things off with. How brave is he though? Not very. He's been given a 6 there, so a bit of a coward by looks of things. Composure, he is very composed. 19 composure. Nothing deters him. He is on it constantly. What about concentration? 14! His mentals are insane. He's 16 years old in game. These are like mentals of a 35-year-old veteran. 8 in decision making though. Okay, so we are starting to come down here. Determination. This is hugely important to a player's development. Oh, it's only a 3. Ethan. I mean, to be fair, he might end up being pretty solid to start things off actually, where he's got a very high current ability to start off, but that 3 determination is going to limit him quite a bit. Flair, how likely is he to do a rainbow flick? Very likely. It's 20. It's 20 out of 20 for Flair. Okay, leadership now. 16. He's a natural born leader apparently. Why are these mentals so good? Off the ball is just a 1. We'll leave that at a 1 then. Positioning. This is important. Based on what I'm seeing here with 19 composure and 20 flair, and 14 anticipation, I think he should be a winger. But if he has 20 positioning, surely a fullback. It's 16. Wow, okay, that's interesting. I'm not quite sure where we're going to put him. Okay, on to teamwork then. He's a team player. That's 15 out of 20 for teamwork. Vision, can he create? No, that's literally a 1 out of 20. And work rate, that's an 8. I think the vision of 1 has really kind of messed things up for him being an elite winger, because although he can cross the ball really well and he can skill past everyone, he then has no idea what to do after that. He cannot see the pass. Okay, physicals then. Let's have a look at this. If he's very fast, winger. If he's not, maybe more fullback. Acceleration then is a 7. That feels a bit of a shame. Agility is 19. Very, very agile. I mean, he is in real life, to be fair, so he glides across a football pitch. Balance, only a 5. I can see a pattern here. Please have like 20 jumping reach. 11, okay, he's not so great at jumping in the air. Natural fitness, a 7. Oh, the physicals are letting him down here, although 18 for pace, 7 acceleration. It takes him a while to get going, but when he is going, He is rapid. He's Usain Bolt. He just has to run 200 meters to get to Usain Bolt pace to start off with. Stamina is going to be a 15. Okay, he can keep going for quite a while. And strength. How strong is this boy? 13. Okay. We're also going to do random number generation here for height and weight. He's going to be 154 centimeters. In reality, he's actually about my height, about 6'4", 6'3", so like, that is a big drop off. The random number generator has the chance to do the funniest thing here, and it's going to be 91 kilos. Okay, that's the reasonable weight actually, 91 kilos, although maybe not for someone 154 centimeters tall. With 18 pace. This is amazing. That gives him a current ability of 109 out of 200. So we have to set his potential ability between 110 and 200 using the random number generator. And we've been given 185. Wow. Okay. We now need to work out what club he's going to play for. There are 92 clubs in the English Football League from the Premier League down to League 2. So we're going to press generate here. And it's given us 85. So that is a League 2 club. So looking at the current League 2 table, counting up from Carlisle United, there were 92, 91, 90, 89, 88, 87, 86, 85. It's Colchester United. So we're going to select Colchester United, and Ethan is going to move there right now. He's now a Colchester United player. Let's get on with his career. Ethan becomes a regular starter in the Colchester United squad as he uses his great crossing to get assists. Despite his height, his heading of 12 also helps him secure assists for teammates. Due to his high potential ability, by January, teams like Wolverhampton Wanderers are circling for his signature. But in the end, he rejects Brentford and signs with Aston Villa on loan before joining permanently in summer. Ethan is actually a Birmingham City fan in real life, so this went down pretty well in the group chat. From here, he played 11 times for Aston Villa's under-18s, where his marking, off the ball, determination, decisions, acceleration, balance, natural fitness and strength all increased by 1. The game also can't comprehend his height to weight ratio, so incredibly, he's dropped almost 40 kilos in a season. Nice one, Ethan. I'm proud of you for making that positive change. Across the season, his current ability has risen to 115, which makes him good enough for some League 1 clubs. So will Ethan head out on loan next season? He does, to Championship side Derby County, but he's not really good enough for their first team, collecting just 1 goal and 1 assist in 14 appearances. But the goal was a banger, and he is still able to improve his current ability up to 122, so it is a net positive. The following season, it's another Championship loan with Coventry City, and Ethan has a far more productive season. In 29 league games, he's scored 7 goals and assisted 4. Across the board, he's making good gains, especially in the physical department, which is expected at 19 years old. And he's made his England under-21 debut, scoring a hat-trick past Lithuania, but sadly the game won't let us see his goals. Ethan's current ability is now 129, which makes him a top Championship player. And with Villa finishing 14th in the Premier League, will they take a punt on starting Ethan in Season 4? The answer is no. Instead, he goes on loan to Cardiff City, who don't use him, playing just 14 times and scoring 3 goals. So we see the smallest season-on-season growth in current ability so far, which really damages his chances of reaching that full potential and having a shot of eventually winning the Ballon d'Or. We need Ethan to have an incredible 5th season. And a loan to Leeds United does yield 7 goal contributions, which is great. The issue is, he only played in 10 Championship games across the season. It shows that Ethan can be great, he just needs the game time, which he isn't getting. But given he played really well in those games, coupled with Leeds' great facilities, he's now on the cusp of being good enough for the Aston Villa squad in current ability terms. I still have some reservations about how a winger with 4 finishing and 4 passing can be effective in the Premier League. But despite that, Ethan has a breakout season with Aston Villa, scoring 8 Premier League goals and collecting 8 more assists. His best season yet. He's had some massive gains in certain areas. Dribbling started at 8 and is now up to 13. Acceleration started at 7 and it's now 11. But impressively, his off the ball has risen from 1 to 7. With his current ability now up to 149, it ranks him as the 4th best player on Villa's team at just 22 years old. Surely a big move to a big club is coming soon. However, in Season 7, things didn't go well. He played more games, but only scored 4 times and assisted 6. Despite that, his current ability has risen to 159, and he is now Villa's best player by current ability. At 23, there is still time to improve on that, but I don't think he'll hit 185. Liverpool are rumoured to be interested in Ethan, who has just made his England debut as he came on as a late sub in a 1-0 win over Slovakia. And that encourages Manchester United to pay £97 million to Ethan in the January transfer window in Season 8, after he'd had his worst start to a season yet. Very on brand for Manchester United. He played in 15 Premier League games for United, and only managed 1 goal and 5 assists in all competitions, but they were important. He got the assist for the winner in a 4-3 win in the Manchester derby, meaning City finish outside the top 4 as United win the title, Ethan's first trophy of his career. His goal against Real Sociedad means United beat them 6-5 on aggregate in the Europa League round of 16, and then in the final, he assisted the winning goal to help United lift the trophy. So Ethan's move was pretty justified. United may have won the Premier League title without him, but they would not have won the Europa League if he wasn't in the squad. And he just keeps getting better and better. Half a season at United has seen his dribbling increase once again up to 15, as well as improvements across his mentals. But at 24, I really don't think he's going to hit his full potential ability. Season 9 proves to be Ethan's best yet, with 13 goals and 12 assists in all competitions. They also make it 2 in a row in the Premier League for Ethan's 3rd trophy, but they lose in the Champions League quarterfinals to Bayer Leverkusen, the team they beat in last season's Europa League final. He's now also scoring for England, but as the goals are happening in the previous calendar year to the save file, the game won't let us watch them. Ethan's 10th season is a bit of a step back though, and despite featuring in more games, he only scores 12 and assists 8. And there's no trophies for United this season, as they drop down to 4th in the table. But at 26, Ethan might now be in his final form, as he's improved dramatically across 10 seasons as a player. Off the ball, for example, has risen from 1 to 11, and his vision has gone from 1 to 9. And they could actually still improve a little bit further, as players' mental attributes tend to keep developing until their late 20s in Football Manager. Which means, somehow, he might actually hit that potential ability of 185, which is phenomenal work. But as he enters his prime, he has his best season yet. He scores 16 goals and gets 14 assists in all competitions as he becomes the Manchester United captain and helps the team back to 2nd in the table with some incredible jumping reach to score some headers. But despite an average rating of 7.3 across the season, the goal contributions aren't enough to get in the top 3 of the Ballon d'Or, which feels harsh, because although he didn't score, he did contribute in England's 2034 World Cup winning team. But he doesn't need individual accolades. In Season 12, he won the February Goal of the Month with this low drive, which helped Man United win the Premier League for Ethan's 3rd domestic title. He was also instrumental in the Champions League, scoring the winner against Valencia in the semi-finals, before scoring the first goal in the final as United went on to beat PSG 2-0 to win United their 4th Champions League. This is Ethan at his absolute peak. 28 years old and almost the perfect winger. If his passing, work rate and off the ball were just a little bit higher, he really might be unstoppable. With a current ability of 183, Ethan is now one of the best players in the world. Not bad for a player who was created with a random number generator. But finally, there's a bit of bad luck, as in Season 13, Ethan has an injury-hit season. He does contribute with goals in the league, but ends up missing both the FA Cup final and Champions League final, which United go on to win without him. Season 14, though, is worse. He misses 4 months of football thanks to a recurring hip injury. When he wasn't injured, he was delivering for United. In the 19 Premier League games he did play, he scored 7 goals, which helped Manchester United win a 4th Premier League title during his time at the club. A goal nearly every other game for a player with 6 finishing is just incredible. But I think it has something to do with his 20 composure, which has to be carrying him. Season 15 was injury-free for Ethan, but his goal-scoring rate did slow down to 13 goals in 46 appearances in all competitions. But for 31 years old, that is not bad at all. This means Ethan wins his 5th Premier League title, and his current ability is yet to decline, so he is still at the peak of his powers. But rumour has it, He wants a new challenge. So Real Madrid spend a ridiculous 213 million to acquire his services. For Ethan, it was worth it, as he notched up his highest average rating across the season, a 7.57 in all competitions. This is the part though where I realised I forgot to turn up the detail level for La Liga, so the only goals that Ethan we can watch are his Champions League goals, and actually he doesn't get too many there. Real lost 2-0 in the Champions League final, but Ethan was able to help them win La Liga by 7 points ahead of Valencia. But at 32, Ethan is now starting to decline. His pace has dropped from 18 to 17, and his agility from 20 to 19, for example. This is the beginning of the end. 213 million for a player who is now starting to decline does seem like a huge overpay, but for Real, it was worth it, because over the next 3 seasons, Ethan continues to play at a high standard and helps them win 4 consecutive La Liga titles. But as you can see, across his 4 seasons in Madrid, there are diminishing returns as his current ability dropped. He actually ended up being used further back down the pitch, as he's now an accomplished left midfielder and is awkward as a centre midfielder. But at 35, his physicals have completely dropped off, and he's had downgrades in his technical abilities too. With his current ability dropping to 142, Ethan is no longer good enough for Real Madrid, so he decides to call it quits and retire at the end of the season. From humble beginnings and some really weird randomly assigned attributes, Ethan has legitimately gone on to become one of the most successful players of all time. 5 Premier Leagues, 4 La Ligas, 2 Champions Leagues and a World Cup. There aren't many players with a better haul than that. But could I win more trophies? I made myself as a player in Football Manager and then simulated my career to see how far I could go. That video is on screen for you to watch right now, and I promise you it is just as entertaining as Ethan's, just maybe for all the wrong reasons. Don't read into that too much yet, watch the video to find out, but yeah, maybe Ethan had a better career than me.